Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Season 4 Faded Warlock tier set voting, which is basically concluded. It has like a day and a half, I think, on voting. For the most part, the votes are pretty set in stone. Probably won't change much looking at both the US and EU. So this evening, when we review that, talk about what won, where it's applicable, if it's a good overall bonus, bad overall bonus, and I guess just go from there. So yeah, let's jump into it. All right, so getting into the set bonuses here and all that, I forgot that the actual cosmetic set is being voted on as well. As far as S1, S2, and S3 are concerned, Season 2, the Aberrus set is winning, which I think, for the most part, I agree with. I think Season 3, which is not shown here, I think, like, design-wise is the coolest to me personally. I think Season 2 is the most vibrant. I like it the most, like, color scheme-wise, all that. It does sort of scream Warlock in a sense, comparatively to S1, at least I think. Now, as far as votes are concerned, I mean, it's basically doubling Season 3, and there's 1,000 DPS disparity exactly between S1 and S2, with, you know, NA and EU being combined. I doubt there's enough votes that would sway S1 to 2 with there being a day and a half or so remaining on voting, but it looks like at this point, Aberrus is going to win. Like the tier set at least, like the cosmetic part of it. For the most part, I just wear tier 3 or some kind of random clown mog anyways. Regardless, it's cool to see. That's my second choice, and, you know, I'll take it. Now, getting into the actual specs here. So as far as Affliction is concerned, Affliction has 827 votes from NA, 950 from EU and S1. You can see basically S3 is dominating this. If you combine S1 and S2 together, both NA and EU, they barely surpass what S3 is getting. Now, for those who don't remember, Season 2 was the one that gave you a reduced cooldown on Singularity and Vile Taint. It gave you the Infirmity window whenever you cast Singularity or Vile Taint, all that kind of stuff. And at S1, you had the chance to get like a stack of a bonus damage amp to Rapture. I believe a haste proc whenever the two-piece went off. Now, as far as S3 is concerned, as we all know, this is the Soul Rot damage increase bonus in a longer duration. And Soul Rot grants you Umber Fire Kindling, which increases damage of Rapture by 50% and Seed by 60%, affecting all 3 seeds with So 3 times, all that, and also a dot extension. Now, I often forget about the dot extension when it comes to the AF bonus, actually. It's still fun to play with and all that, but either way, I would say overall it is the most impactful set out of all of them. Once again, S1 being the just random haste proc with, you know, random Rapture stacks, and Seed as well, I guess, but a lesser percent than we have now. The second tier being the Singularity, Vile Taint reduction, and Infirmity damage amp every time you cast them. But once again, this one being Soul Rot based, right? Now, I think I did vote for this one. I think this bonus actually is the best one we can get out of S1, S2, and S3. There were mixed builds in Season 2. Some played Soul Rot, and if you did, you played 2 points over here in Malevolent Visionary with, you know, Vile Taint and all that. But with the season being, you know, based around Soul Rot, the Gluttony talent here giving you a half-minute reduction at 0.2 out of 2 makes it very strong. It syncs with your Vile Taint perfectly, half a minute, and it gives you a very strong, just well-rounded damage profile every half a minute, whether you're in single target or whether you're in AoE. It increases your seed value, once again, by 60% whenever you cast, you know, your Soul Rot, which is every half a minute, and Rapture by 50. And it's guaranteed stacks, right? It's 3 guaranteed stacks of Kindling, comparatively to having, you know, a max stack of 5 of Cruel Inspiration from S1 when you were involved. So overall, Affliction's not even in a bad spot. It's sort of underplayed now, I think. Demo's good on a lot of fights, obviously, as well. But I think AF's damage profile is strong. It's customizable with many different builds here. I mean, single target build, you can play the Cleave build, getting Seed and Soak with Soul Flame. Mythic Plus, there's a handful of builds that are being played. Some have no Haunt, some have no Dark Glare, but most are all playing Soul Rot with Gluttony and going into Dark Harvest after the buffs it got a few weeks ago. But either way, AF is customizable. I think the biggest issue with AF, just in general content, probably look at it in a week or so here, looking at each spec actually, is the fact that you don't really have a well-rounded profile if you're in Mythic Plus, if you're playing Doom Blossom. If you're playing Dread Touch and Plus, a short per single target, just by Demo, by Destro. You're sort of in a spot of, all right, well, I want to do Plus, I want to have Seed, so AoE, I'm playing Doom Blossom, then I have no Dread Touch, which hurts single target a lot, and it's just awkward. But either way, having that Soul Rot every half a minute to sync with your Vile Taint, whether it's in single target or AoE, buffing your Seeds, buffing your Raptures, does help a little bit, and overall gives a very well-rounded profile for fights, encounters, packs, where you want those damage amps basically every half a minute. And also the buff to Dark Harvest makes it even better. The haste is multiplicative, the crit is additive, but you have a mini Bloodlust every time you cast Soul Rot every half a minute. So as far as AF is concerned, I do think that this is the best overall bonus here. Season 3 one. And I'm happy that for the most part it has one. Honestly, the Vile Taint PS reduction was sort of to me either way. And I'm happy this has been, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to call this is going to win, being S3. Now, moving on to Demonology here, this is where things get interesting. So, Demonology for S1, which was just the Fellstorm Demon Bolt damage increase right here, with I'll change specs here. Fellstorm Demonology, or Fellstorm Demon Bolt damage increase with the instant cast Hand of Gul'dan, being S1. S2 was the big Grimoire Felguard sinking to your Tyrant and giving you an increase to Demon Bolt damage, all that stuff, and giving you a large increase to your pets when you cast your Grimoire. Now, this is a very good bonus in rating, very, very strong. It was nerfed, the 2-piece, from 1 second to 0.5, I think a week before the patch came out, for Mirdasil, to reduce the power level of it. One thing to keep in mind with this bonus, definitely better in rating than it was in M+. And it was a very strong bonus, fun to play with. Having your Grimoire sync to your Tyrant felt great, but at the same time, it wasn't just the Grimoire sync to Tyrant. It was the fact that you were playing Tyrant with Soulbound Tyrant, where you're playing Reign of Tyranny. You were playing Nether Portal. You were playing Old Ner'zhul. You were playing Pit Lord. You were a great PI target. You had Clash Trinket. You had Iridius Fragment. You had Potions. You had Bloodlust that you could pop all together at the exact same time for an insane damage profile, huge burst like old Benthir Boomkin. We know how Aberrus was, and then do less than tank damage for the next 2 minutes, right? So that profile and that bonus was very strong, but it also compounded upon itself, I guess, if that's the wording I should use, because of all the interactions you have with talents and big damage profiles and all that, which led to mixed feelings on that bonus. Now, once again, very strong in rating. When it came to Mythic Plus, I mean, syncing your Grimoire was fine, but Demonology, Warlock in general was mid in S2, Mythic Plus, even in S1, because the bonus, it was fine, but it wasn't great in Plus, right? But that brings us around to our Season 3 bonus, which is based around Doombrand. Whenever you cast a Demonic Core, or consume one casting a Demon Bolt, it applies a Doombrand to your target, which you want to brand multiple mobs in Plus, or maintain it in single target, whatever I have you in rating. And when the Doombrand is removed, you can summon a Doomguard that either volleys Shadow Bolts or does single target Shadow Bolt damage, but the Doombrand, when it's removed, also does damage. And that's AoE damage, and it's a decent bit of your damage. This bonus is it can be like 15-18% of your damage in Mythic Plus, depending on the dungeon, the affixes, how you're pulling. It's a large portion of your damage at M+. Now, would Demo be good in Plus in general this season, even without it? It'd be good. It wouldn't be as good as it is. It's a strong bonus in Mythic Plus, and it's also fine in rating. Is it a crazy amount of damage in rating? No, it's less than Plus. But Demonology is basically very close to being meta M+, barring being a mage, a rogue, a Demo hunter, and I guess more or less that's it. Demo is right there. Demo can keep up with most of the classes, and this bonus is a good portion of that. Being able to apply multiple Doombrands, being able to apply a Doombrand to a low health mob, have it die, and explode on other mobs, summon a Doomguard. It's an exceptionally strong tier bonus in Mythic Plus, a very strong one, I should say, and has applicability in rating, both in single target, and AoE, or semi-based, semi-AoE based fights like Laredar, for example. You can take Doombrand a handful of mobs, Doombrand some brutes that are running around. It's universally applicable. Now, was S2 universally applicable? Yes, it was, but it wasn't as strong universally, if that makes sense, right? Your Grimoire sinking to your Tyrant felt good in rating. It felt fine in Mythic Plus, but didn't bring that power level. Your bonus right here is, this bonus here, the current one, S3, is essentially active in a sense all the time. Mythic Plus, rating, whatever would happen. You can always get value out of it as long as you're casting Demonic Cores and managing your brands. It wasn't always the case. It wasn't really the case at all with Aberrus stuff, boring outside of cooldowns. And I mean, S2 was fine for the Fellstorm Demon Bolt buff, but at the same time, Hand of Gul'dan was just Sword of Man. So, while I enjoy rating, I'd say overall a little more than Plus. I was split here. I initially voted for 2, but I changed my vote to 3 after thinking about it for a little while due to the nerf to change that came to Demonology. I guess S2's bonus, the portal removal, I guess Pit Lord portal, Reign of Tyranny Tyrant being nerfed. Everything being destroyed with that bonus and the interactions that it had. I voted for S3. I think overall it is the best choice. It is ahead by a substantial margin. You could combine these, it wouldn't even be near reaching S3. So I'm pretty much guaranteeing S3 is going to win for Demonology. I know it's a very polarizing tier bonus. Some people like it, some people hate it. Applying Doombrands via Demon Bolt is not everyone's favorite. Some love it, some hate it. I get it. I understand. I get you. Don't need to yell at me in the comments like last time. I understand both sides of it. But in the end, I think it is the most universally applicable bonus. And I think it's just overall likely the best bet when it comes to S3 for Demonology, or for Demonology S4. And it looks to be very likely, the overall winner in a day and a half or so. Now, finally, we have Destruction. Destruction is in an odd spot with its bonuses because your S1 bonus was based around just cast spells and things proc, consume shards, you do damage, right? Consuming shards can give you a crit strike increase. If you crit, you do 208% damage instead of 200. Very basic, but at the same time, it worked. Because Chaos Ball always crits. Your other crits in general would do more damage. That's cool. And the 2-piece increase your crit chance. It worked together okay. Wasn't amazing. Wasn't terrible. But if you look at Aberrus in Mirdasil, Aberrus forced you into playing Channel Demon Fire, which, similar to, Demo S3, polarizing. Some like it. Some hate it. I understand both sides of it. I'm just a messenger. I'm just talking how it went. Some liked it, some hated it. It felt fun to hit at times, I guess, but other times very restrictive. Couldn't move very much. A lot of little things here and there. And overall, it's sort of awkward, right? It wasn't incredibly powerful either. Now, when it comes to a Mirdasil, you have Dimensional Rifts. Dimensional Rifts are interesting. I like the ability. I like hitting it. I think it'd be much better if the ability was here in the tree and Diabolic Embers was here in its place. So you weren't unable to take, Ram Warlock's design or Avatar in like Mythic Plus or wherever else you want to be. Because having to take Rift to enable your tier bonus means I can't play Ram Warlocks with, Avatar Destruction. I can't play all through capstones here. So for me personally, the builds I enjoy more, Avatar and or Ram Warlocks, I enjoy those more than playing with Rift. I think Rift is very cool as a baseline ability. But I think looking at the bigger picture here, Rift has made things a little restricted. And that is that. So you have the option of S3 being Rift, S2 being Channel Demon Fire, and S1 just being, no talent influence, just play destruction however you want. And that is that. So I did actually vote for Season 2. Season 1. Season 1 being just the baseline, consuming a shard can give you a crit strike increase, and you do 208% damage instead of 200 whenever you crit. It is winning by about 1,300 votes here, 1,400 give or take. I don't think S2 they're going to catch it, even with like a decent bit of shift coming in here either way. This might be a little out of date. I think it's posted a day ago or so. But either way, I think it's close enough to say that S1's going to win for destruction. And I think this is overall good. It might seem a little bland, a little boring. If you like Rifts, well, they buff them. Maybe you can still play them. I'm just saying in general, I think the way that Rifts and CDF sort of, Rifts and the way Rifts sort of disrupted the playstyles that I enjoy personally, and others did, as well in a certain sense. And the way that CDF just sort of felt when it came to overall just rotational fluidity, Mythic Plus, and rating and all that, it felt sort of awkward. I think S1's the way to go. If you're playing S1 stuff, you can just go right back to the 2-minute build like this. You can pull the points here, do whatever. You can get your 2-minute Infernal if you want to play basically S1 Destro and S3. Well, I guess there are a handful of builds you're playing, not 2-minute build here, but either way. There are other combinations you can get here with Grand Warlocks, with Avatar. Some builds opt to just play this instead either way, for example, but you can get, 3-minute Infernal with Crashing, with Avatar, with Chaosbringer, with Embers, and you can forego the Rift, or you can back into Chaos Incarnate if you want and pull this and go here, vice versa. It's much more customizable. Your hand's not forced into playing Rift and losing one of these final big points that you want. Just in general, I don't really want to manage CDF next tier personally. Rifts are fun. I'd love it if Rift was up here once again, and Embers was here. I think it'd be either choice to take Rift here either way. But Rifts are cool, but in the end, I'd rather just play with 2-minute Infernal and Avatar, or just more exciting builds, I think, and not be forced into playing Rift as a capstone to enable my tier bonus to make it a less enjoyable overall experience for me personally when it comes to S4 and Faded for destruction, whether it's Mythic Plus or rating, right? So I would assume S1 wins this overall for Destro. We'll see where it goes, but like I said, overall, I think I voted for S1. It's going to win, likely. I voted for S3 for Demonology, even though I liked S2 more from a personal rating perspective. I think it made the class feel better to play with Grimoire Tyrant Sync. Hopefully it's a more within thing. I voted for S3, it's probably going to win. And I voted for S3 of AF as well, giving you that strong half-minute damage profile with Soul Rot, all of that. The Ember Fire Kindling stacks, Seed, Rapture, all that. Dot extension also being nice too. And I lost this vote. I voted for S3, I'm pretty sure, but honestly, hey, either way. In the end, it's still cool. Still looks Warlocky. Probably still going to wear tier 3 or some kind of pre-smog either way. So, yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Wraps it up. Hopefully you, enjoyed the video. My takes on Warlock tier and stuff, heading into S4 and all that, answer questions you might have had. S4, listen, this video is going to be polarizing because everybody loves different bonuses, and that's okay. It might not align with what I like. Maybe it does. I don't know. But in the end, the best option is to make, S1, S2, S3 all available on the vendor so you can play whatever you want. But is that realistic? I don't think so. Because that would be, with there being 12 or I think 12, 13 classes in the game now, and saying an average of 3 specs per class, that's like 120 specs, or I guess tier bonuses to tune, not specs, but tier bonuses. That's a nightmare. It's just too much work, I would assume, for Blizzard and S4 and Faded being fun, giving you a choice, but at the same time, yeah. So, I think for the most part, everything for Warlock is solid. What's winning, or I guess is sort of almost won, is probably the best option overall, whether you like it or not. I think it's the strongest bonuses, at least, looking at, well, yeah, overall. We'll see where it goes. Maybe things shift. Maybe they just say, hey, YOLO, you can play all three, change their minds. But I doubt it. And yeah, that's that. So, like always, Week Wars add-ons down below. Links to Twitch and Discord if you want them. They're for free for you guys. At the same time, before we end the video, like always, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons. We're all supporting on Patreon. Thank you a million times, guys. Like always, I really appreciate it. It allows me to keep doing what I'm doing for you guys, making videos, and yeah, I really appreciate it. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, there should be a link up here, as well as down below in the video description. And yeah, we will see where this goes. It's already mid-January, which is wild. I'm expecting there to probably be some like faded stuff coming out in the next few weeks. Maybe like February, start hearing about it. But honestly, before we know it, we're going to be in alpha for War Within. I would venture to guess somewhere in March, because alpha, in the timeline they gave for like Dragonflight, I'm almost 100% that alpha is marked to come out before S4 faded is. If that's the case, I'll rate my rating. We're probably going to be playing alpha besides that for the most part. So we'll see where it goes, but big next few months coming up, and that's that. So, other things said, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.